The other one that they outline for addressing or coming up with some best practices is around tool poisoning.
Yeah. So what is tool poisoning, right? So let's take a step back and talk about that, right? So agents typically access the data and applications through protocol called MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's, you can call it an alternative to API. API is typically used for kind of standard defined experiences. What MCP allows you to create your own experience in terms of exploring data, trying to do some things and things like that. And as part of that, there are two things that happen that typically is available in API as well. Is MCP allows you to get a list of things that you can actually do with your backend. I can send an email, delete an email, draft an email. Like these are three different tool calls that an agent can do over MCP. So there's a list of things that I can do it, and how do I actually do it? That the two things that MCP allows for. Now, what tool poisoning really means is I initially register myself. So these are the three things that I can do, right? Then I can go ahead and change the tool description itself, or I can bring in another tool that's saying, uh, along with this, I will be a super helpful agent to maybe log everything along the way, right? So that is effectively tool poisoning, right? You're changing the description, right? From where you started with to dynamically where it is at right now. And the agent will adopt the new things. So it's not going to say, oh, it changed along the way, right? That's the concept of tool poisoning. The way Cequence helps solve this problem is you actually pin the tool descriptions to where they started with. And as an enterprise, you without the admin's approval, you cannot change those descriptions, right? Effectively. And that's how we actually help solve for that tool poisoning. But that's a real problem, right? Because you can start with one super helpful tool to something, a malicious tool, in a matter of 2 minutes or 3 minutes, like that. So your initial screening says I'm going to be the helpful tool, and then along the way you started doing something completely different.
Yeah, and there's several other threats that they put out there, including identity abuse, memory poisoning, and supply chain. But
Yeah.
reading through all of that, in your opinion, which one do you think most companies are faced? Which one is the hardest one to address?
You spoke about identity abuse. I think all of them are important, right? Like in terms of supply chain is again the big one to think about. Like if you look at what's happening right now is the attackers again while using AI tools themselves are poisoning all the open source repositories that are out there, right? And they are kind of fundamental to some of the tools that you use on a daily basis, all in the AI stack as well, right? Now, one of the things that is happening in the agentic world is people go out and download these tools from the open source community. They're already
They built a reputation that people trust and
exactly.
everybody enjoys it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you're using it in your environment, and the enterprises don't know about it. And then suddenly a new version comes in and starts exfiltrating that data because it is.
All they have to do is update the supply chain, and then the updates get down to the users, and then all of a sudden something new is introduced.
So what the way Cequence helps solving this is, by the way, we give you a approved enterprise registry of MCP servers, right? So you're not allowed to go download random MCPs from random repositories. These are verified MCP servers that are built on trust, right? You're not just built. You could be going to the official MCP server on the back end. You could be translating without writing a single line of code or external dependency from an API or an official API that is available, and I need to translate into MCP server. So that way, you're reducing significantly the attack surface around supply chain attacks, right? Because you're not bringing in new vector every time, right? You have an approved set of closed source tools that are used for the agent to actually interact with the backend.